quan sát extension A. Morning, Donald. We waiting for a few more people.
Yes, we are waiting for a few more people, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I see we are 30 now.
Yes. May I check if you are able to see my slides?
Yeah, the slides are visible.
Okay, thank you.
It is now 11 minutes past 11. Good morning to everybody. I've just got a challenge here. My camera don't want to come on now. These things do sometimes happen. I'm saying turn camera on. Yeah. But we want to say welcome to all of those who are present in our Teams meeting this morning. And welcome. This is the third day where we focusing and celebrating Child and Youth Care Week, the International Child and Youth Care Week, with our team valuing a resilient profession. And today our session will be with the NACCW National Executive Committee. We will focus on provincial developments and challenges, reports from our chairpersons from the 9 provinces. We will have our vice chairperson, Fiona, as well as our treasurer, Francisco, also giving some highlights and a message of support to the field and to our child and youth care workers in general. So this is our 3rd day for being here. And as the NACCW, we would like to thank those that have joined and are also active in celebrating this International Week of Child and Youth Care. Our NACCW is a national association of child care workers, and we have as our objective to provide training and infrastructure to promote healthy child and youth development and to improve standards of care and treatment for troubled children and youth at risk in families, communities, and residential settings. And the NACCW is more than 40 years ago was established by the late Brian Gannon and Ernie, and I just remember a few others, the late Roger Pitt. All of them started this organization, and we're still here after more than 40 years working and ensuring that the profession of child and youth care have been developed. And our chairpersons from the various provinces will speak in terms of what they are doing there, connecting with child and youth care workers, because it's all about, as a professional association, developing the profession and advocating for its members. And our advocacy role focuses on development and implementation of training regulations. That is why we are actively involved and have had a long struggle to get our professional board for child and youth care work operational. So we thank those that are involved in this long period. Some of us are not here that long. Donald just remind me, it's 47 years. Some of us are 35, 30, etc. At one conference, we actually had opportunity for child and youth care workers to give an indication of how many years they are involved and busy here in this field. Another important point of a professional association is that we serve as the voice for the profession and also advocate for its members. And the advocacy role focuses on development and implementation of regulations for the profession, ethical standards, influencing and networking with the policymakers and talk to policy. But most important, it's about the structures and governance of the profession. And our governing structure of the association ensures that we have well-groomed leaders that we developed. And the NACCW have, over the past years, assisted. We played a key role in the development of leaders through our national and regional leadership seminars and the circulation of the Child and Youth Care Journal, because it's also about keeping members abreast of developments in the field. We can ask the question, why is a professional association important? Because it provides members with a competitive advantage. They become active, informed members of their practice and the industry, and members rely on their professional association to keep them informed on important legislation, industry trends, and advances in technology. And so we are grateful for our pioneers and those that went before us to ensure that we have a good governance structure and that we can link and communicate with our members. So on that note, we're gonna start with our provincial chairpersons, who's gonna give us some highlights in terms of their presentations. I hope they have all been connected. We did send you. We're going to start with Gauteng Province, KZN, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Limpopo, Free State, and Mpumalanga. We did receive an apology for Carabello. She's from Northwest, the chairperson there. She's got a bereavement in her family, and we also wish to express our condolences to her and the family. She's attending a funeral. So I think Donald will just highlight maybe something from Northwest. We also received an apology for Ropa from KZN, but we have, I understand Fiona will stand in and do that report. So on that note, thank you once again and welcome. We will hand over then to, I think Zoleka will, if she's here, will do then the first report for Gauteng. Can we hand over to Zoleka?
Good day, colleagues. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. We can hear you.
Good morning, good morning.
Yes, this is Oleka Mashila, the chairperson, Gauteng Province. Gauteng Province Child and Youth Care Workers continue to provide service to children in the child and youth care centers, communities, and at schools. Number 2, the work is done based on the year plan that is developed in the beginning of each year. Even during COVID-19 in the past 2 years, services continued to be provided as childcare was declared as essential service. The virtual platforms were created to provide online services to children, especially in the youth forum. Child and youth care workers in Gauteng drew a memorandum with issues of concerns to be submitted to the minister when the resolutions for 2021 conference are submitted to the social development minister. GP NACCW is listed in the Tshwane database of institutions so that we can be included when there are consultation within the Tshwane municipality, and we are also included in their events. NACCW, Scouting Child and Youth Care Workers and community-based programs are also celebrating Child and Youth Care Workers Week as the whole world. GP NACCW is on a drive to collect donations to support child and youth care workers and the flood victims in the KZN with the title, Gauteng Filling the Trolley to Support Disaster Management in the KwaZulu-Natal province. The province is happy to pronounce their attendance to the NACCW conference in 2021. And we note that the province has to work harder to have more numbers participating in the NACCW province. And we are happy to announce the appointment of Mrs. Mpumi Lutuli as the first childcare worker appointed as the institution manager in Gauteng. We continue running under the leadership and the guidance of the GP leadership, Mr. Donald Ngonyama, and we are very happy for his assistance and his guidance all the way. The provinces continue to take place in face-to-face meetings after the COVID-19 pandemic. GP, we continue to running well. Okay, sorry, I'm repeating one thing there. A new youth forum leadership was elected in 2021. The meeting was attended by 100 youth. Those sessions were with forums they had different discussing the gender-based violence and in communities. May I ask Mr. Ngonyama to assist me with that last slide? Thank you.
Donald, there was just a request for your assistance.
Sorry, I've just been told that my mic is muted. It's not easy to see because I've got my presentation on here. And I will continue from where Zuleka left off. Mr. Chair, are you able to see the slides?
Yes, Donald.
Thank you. From where Zuleka left off, the Youth Forum held sessions which focused on gender-based violence in communities, self-care, self-love, respect, and self-worth, addressing issues of teenage pregnancies, sexual reproductive health, HIV prevention and testing, COVID-19 information dissemination, and education with focus on grade 12 learner support. Thank you. So that is Gauteng.
Thank you very much, Zuleka and Donald, for sharing with us Gauteng. Now we will move to KZN and understand, Fiona, you will do that report. You may switch your camera on.
Yes, good morning.
On
behalf of ROPA, I just need to emphasize at the beginning that we're quite an active group with our PC holding monthly meetings. And when we hold our monthly meetings, we are doing lots of planning for our quarterly forum meetings that we have. And 99% in case belongs to residential care. So I'm going to just talk and emphasize on some of my slides, some of the points on the slide, not everything. I just want to focus on the COVID protocols that we had to follow, reminding everyone that because we're 99% residential in KZN, a lot of emphasis was on the fact that we're an essential service. And during this past 2 years of COVID, there was a lot of on the fact that we had to step up and provide that essential service in a time of need. KZN was influential and implemented the KZN protocols for residential care, which we're quite proud of because we do know that it was used for many other provinces and many other sectors like the older persons and disability sectors for residential care as well, on the fact that for residential care. We had a lot of virtual meetings. 90% of it was virtual and about 10% was physical during the past year. Just to focus on the resilience of our child and youth care workers, obviously we had to adapt a lot during the COVID protocols, and we had to have child and youth care workers in residential care working for extremely long periods during lockdown, up to 3 to 4 weeks within a residential site, not going home. So it came with its own set of challenges, and the forum had to support the network in terms of how they. We also had, as you know, in KZN, we had a rioting week, which added to our difficulties, and we had the recent floods. So we've experienced quite a bit in this past year as KZN, and child and youth care workers were at the heart of most of it, continuing to provide the child. And we acknowledge that things have been difficult for our members. We did lose one member during the process of the floods, and we acknowledge that death as well, and acknowledge that it has not been an easy route for all of us during this process. In terms of our forums, obviously there's a lot of highlight on the youth forum, focusing a lot on the special days. We have a sub-region, Pietermaritzburg, who also joins Durban, and we had a focus on discussions on relevant topics. The topics are listed on the slides. I'm not going through them, but all relevant topics to today's youth. Our forums, as you know, KZN doesn't only have 2 forums. We work with many forums. And so in these forums, we are able to focus a lot on programs. They had 3 virtual meetings on the leave of absences, the issues around home affairs, and the COVID protocols. We had the principals forum, which had 3 meetings. And what ended up happening is, despite focusing a lot on the Children's Amendment Bill and the subsidy issues, a lot more focus went on Wongo and the issues we had to deal with there. We then also had other forums, which I just want to emphasize. We had the Senior Child and Youth Care, which is the Senior Child and Youth Care Forum and Supervisors Forum, and they had 4 virtual meetings on the strategies for form, on behavior management, communication and support, and motivating child and youth care workers in the field. We have practitioner forums, both in Durban and in Pietermaritzburg, and altogether there were 8 meetings, and a lot of focus on managing children's behavior, routines, professional behavior, ethics, debriefing, self-discipline, and self-awareness, and stories of hope in the field. A bigger network, and that focused a lot on the role of the professional board, the norms and standards that are expected, and the COVID vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona, there from KZN, for sharing with us. In moving forward, we now going to the Western Cape, and we ask Desiree just to switch on your camera. We would also love to see your beautiful face, and then you can share with us, Desiree.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and all members present. My name is Desiree Aronson from the Western Province. The Western Cape, I would say the merge of the Western Cape and the Southern Cape was a success and continue working well as one provincial structure. Due to COVID-19, meetings were limited to virtual for the past 2 years until recently when the face-to-face meetings was held. There's a strong call from members to continue with face-to-face meetings. The use of WhatsApp groups have been very helpful in keeping the members connected and active. The Western Cape held its first virtual mini conference in BGM, which was successful. Mr. Lorenzo Davis was invited as a guest speaker at the BGM, and this was appreciated by members. the province held a training on code of ethics. Members appreciated the refresher session on what they stand for as professionals working with children and families. The emergence and growing of the Isibindi Isikoleni in the Western Cape is strengthening the provincial membership. The Isibindi program and the mentors were absorbed by the Western Cape DSD. The Western Cape hosted the registration manager of council and addressed the concerns regarding their registration. About 100 members were listed to be assisted by the council. The province celebrated the initiation of the Directors Forum in the province, which has currently been focusing on funding for MPOs. Our youth forums, the activities of the youth forums were limited to virtual as well as COVID-19, which was rife in the Western Cape. The Western Cape Commissioner for Children held a face-to-face meeting with the youth representatives, and this was highly appreciated by the young people. There is a strong call from the youth to start face-to-face meetings in the province. There is also a growing interest from the state-run child and care worker centers to include youth in the youth forums. Thank you.
Thank you, Desiree, for the Western Cape report. We're moving to the Eastern Cape. We invite Vanessa to share with us. If you can also just switch your camera on, Vanessa. Yes, we can see you. You may continue.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Donald, if we can just add the other presentation that I've sent you this earlier. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, it's on. Mr. Chair, can you see the presentation?
Yes, it starts with the chairperson's names.
Okay. The province celebrated the merger of the North Cape.
Just a minute, Donald, you've minimized it now. If we could just put it on the screen.
It is on the screen on my side.
Yeah,
it went to the corner. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's better. Thank you, Donald.
Yes, the next slide, please. Thank you for the opportunity. The province celebrated the merger of the North Eastern Cape and the Port Elizabeth to one Eastern Cape structure due to the COVID-19. The Provincial Executive Committee held virtual meetings in the past 2 years until recently. Eastern Province is excited about the upcoming conference in 2023 as the host. Preparations to welcome local and international delegates is underway. While not finally official, the conference venue will be the Nelson Mandela University, and the final confirmation is awaited. The BGM was at the Eastern Province Child and Youth Center. Attendance included the National Chairperson, Mr. Gallen, and 15 child and youth care workers who did their presentations. Thank you. The watch party at EP Child and Youth Center for the duration on the first NACCW virtual conference Preceded session with welcoming of child and youth care workers, breakaway rooms were allocated by the Child and Youth Care Center. There were 15 Isibindi child and youth care workers in attendance. Child and youth care workers attended sessions at their respective venues. Thank you. The Eastern Cape won the bid to host conference in 2023. Local organizing committee was constituted and started working to prepare for the conference. Nelson Mandela University was identified as the venue to host the biannual conference. Teams will be suggested by people for the conference as well as the youth. At the planning, our membership, at the planning session of one of the challenges that were identified was the decreasing numbers of membership. We plan to visit the district and to recruit and information sharing when visit these districts. Workshops and seminars planned to promote child and youth care work. We had our first outreach to Issue and we reached 1,100 child and youth care workers that visited at Issue. Information on conference was shared in this picture. The Provincial Youth Forum Committee continued holding meetings with virtual platforms and face-to-face. The mayoral office hosted the youth conference and about 30 members of the youth with coordinators attended the virtual conference. Our youth forum had their first face-to-face meeting at Tina Chamber Child and Youth Center, and the theme was Youth Empowerment for New High School Learners. This was attended by 56 youth. Major topics of concern were addressed by the youth, which included bullying, sexual harassment, protective behavior, peer pressure, physical abuse. I would like to conclude a quote from Roy Bennett. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. I thank you.
Chairperson, you are on mute if you are speaking.
Sorry for that. Yeah, thank you, Vanessa, for the colorful photos that you've shared for the child and youth care workers as well as the youth on their engagements. We're moving then to Northwest Province. Do we have a substitute for them?
I'm going to go through the slides for the Northwest, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you, Donald.
The Northwest held face-to-face meetings starting from March this year. And then besides that, they were having virtual meetings, which were not very effective because of the rural nature of the province. They used WhatsApp groups as a means to communicate, where various types of messages were circulated. The NACCW structure in the Northwest has enjoyed good support from the provincial department, and efforts are now directed to securing a meeting with the new HOD. The PEC has decided to do a recruitment drive where members are encouraged to renew or join the NACCW. There is a concern that the only time that the child and youth care workers are active, it's during conference years. So the province has decided to plan activities that will keep members engaged and informed, and more information will be communicated in this regard. The effort by the provincial DSD to pay council fees are appreciated, but the members believe that a way should be found to accommodate members working for NPOs, because this system only accommodate the child and youth care workers employed by the department. There is a concern on the difficulties of accessing council offices and the delay in providing the council receipts. The province recommends that council start doing roadshows in provinces to address the registration problems. The challenge in payment of child and youth care workers in levels, it's a huge concern in the sector and requires urgent attention by the Department of Social Development. Members feel that they are being paid at very low levels, which are not in line with their knowledge and experience. And there is also a concern around delays in payment of stipends for the child and youth care workers in the new RESIHA program, the former ECBND. The report on Youth Forum, the Northwest Youth Forum has been revived, and the province would like to thank the National Office for support. The youth are excited and held several meetings in the province in the past few months. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Donald. Yeah, for sharing with us, also from the Northwest, their challenges and also activities on that side. Then members, we're moving forward to Northern Cape. We asked then Gloria just to take us to the report. Is Gloria present? I can't see her connected, Donald.
Yeah, I did not receive any information regarding any apology. May I go through the report?
Yes, you may continue then, thanks.
Okay, the report from the Northern Cape, an active WhatsApp group has been created, and it keeps members together with updated information. The payment of child and youth care workers with council is done through the Department of Social Development. And this is it's done for all payments of the SSPs who are employed by the department. And the child and youth care workers in the province are appreciative of this support and the method that is being used. A meeting was held with DSD to discuss the work of the child and youth care workers and the department's support. The province is pleased to report that there is a good working relationship between DSD and the Northern Cape NACCW. Further meetings to discuss the working arrangements and to deal with various issues will be held with DSD. NACCW virtual conference held was well supported by the department, and appreciations to the department for this, and as well as the support provided to the Youth Forum. Every year, the provincial structure is guided by a year plan. The year plan for this year will be presented at the upcoming general meeting and to get the general meeting input. The provincial structure is mindful that there is work in reviving the forums in the province, and the forums will be reinvented in this year. There will be outreach programs to reach other child and youth care centers in other regions that are not easily reached towards before the end of this year. The PEC would like to thank all the members for continuing to work and to stick together during COVID-19. As a result of the support of the child and youth care workers, they were able to distribute COVID information and to support one another. Under the Youth Forum, the province reports that the Youth Forum continues operating well in the Northern Cape. Due to COVID-19, members met virtually and now they would like to get back to face-to-face meetings. The province is pleased to report that the 2021 Youth Conference was again supported by the Department of Social Development. The members of the Youth Forum continue to participate in provincial and national activities, which most of them are done online. And the opportunity of the youth to interact with international and national youth is appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I apologize for not showing my video. I don't know how to get this working with my PowerPoint slides. Thank you.
Thank you, Donald. You will get there like me. The technology sometimes beat us. Thank you for the report from Northern Cape. We're now moving to Limpopo. I'm not always sure who's doing the Limpopo. Is it Ashwin or Maroon Bini? Is he? Are they here? Limpopo.
I also did not receive any.
Yeah, so I saw some name in the box here, but maybe they disconnected again. Donald, would you in mind to take us to this report?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'll continue from here. The Limpopo NACCW provincial activities were affected by COVID-19, just like the other provinces, for the past 2 years. And because of its rural nature, it was difficult to hold virtual meetings. The province relied on use of social media, mainly WhatsApp, to discuss membership matters. The suspension of payments of grants to the ECBND projects also added strain to the provincial activities, as some centers had to completely close and suspend activities. The COVID-19 information was disseminated to child and youth care workers in the province through WhatsApp. Members were grateful for the information that was provided, as they were able to keep up with the national developments and NACCW activities. A meeting was held with the Department of Social Development to discuss the delays of grant payments to ECBND projects. The PEC used the social media platform to provide mental health support and provide available online resources that could be those that could be contacted. They advocated for food parcels from SASSA, Department of Social Development, and private companies for the families during COVID-19 lockdown. The community child and youth care workers were applauded for their intervention during lockdown, as they visited families and identified children who did not have food in their houses. The information was submitted to SASSA, who provided food parcels and other material support to these families. Some of the donations of food parcels were received from Hollywood Bets. In this year, a face-to-face meeting was held to plan the upcoming activities. District champions have been identified from the Provincial Executive Committee members to lead and to organize members. Under the Youth Forum, the Limpopo NACCW continued its meetings virtually and face-to-face. The Youth Forum held its provincial BGM, where new executive committee was elected through WhatsApp. While there has been a decrease in the number of youths participating in the Youth Forum because of limited resources to participate in virtual meetings, those who attended were vibrant and ensured that the activities are carried out. Lack of food was identified as one of the serious challenges in communities, which also affected children and youth. And Hollywood Bets provided 250 food parcels to families. The Limpopo province celebrated the pass of the grade 12 learners who are members of the Youth Forum. The relationship with the University of Limpopo, Univen, Mpumalanga, and Cape Peninsula continue to be nurtured, as this makes it easy for youth to gain admission, accommodation, and food assistance after grade 12. The province attended various online workshops and meetings on sexual reproductive health, gender-based violence, COVID-19 awareness campaigns, how to be financial smart, mental health workshops, leadership development, collection drive for sanitary pads and provincial executive committee meetings. That is the report from the province of Limpopo. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the Limpopo report that we received. Moving forward, we will now listen to Peter. It will share with us Free State. Peter, you're welcome to switch on your camera and also then share with us the report.
Thank you very much. Good day to everyone, members. I'm Peter from the province. The province initiated and was function there was the province certainly lost training efforts to be strengthened. However, the members of the steering were held to avoid meeting in the province. So then one of the we are planning to start
Mr. Chairperson, it's difficult to hear Peter. I'm not sure if it's only on my side.
Yeah, Peter, maybe you can switch the camera off and then we'll see, because I think there's a delay in sharing information. Yeah, let's see.
The meeting there with the following areas: dissemination of information on COVID-19, revising the three-state provincial structure, supporting the continuation of the youth forum, preparation for the upcoming NACCW biennial conference, and consent raised by the child and care workers in the province. A WhatsApp group was created to ensure that there is peace communications among members of the steering committee. The partnership with the Department of Social Development was maintained through liaison with the provincial department officials and required further intervention. The provincial steering committee chair and in the ranking of active members in the province. WhatsApp messages and SMSs were sent to child and care workers, reminding them to renew the status with NACCW and the benefits thereof among the Free State province. Send my apology, it was a network challenge. The members were encouraged to send their information to their network individuals and families. This initiative was also stimulated by the project address issues of alcohol abuse brought by NACCW activities. Steering committee due to COVID-19 restriction for meetings held for and the use of WhatsApp for all the members. There was a reduction of the number of active members because most members did not have smartphones. Some youth were only accessible at specific times because they used their parents' smartphones who would be at work during the day. Participated in the National Youth Forum visual activities. The provincial activities included continued awareness on gender-based violence, which was reported to have increased during COVID-19 lockdown, awareness on drug and substance abuse, celebration of national calendar days, where June 16, Heritage Day, International AIDS Day, Freedom Day, and Women's Day. The youth also participated in the provincial and national commemoration of Child Protection Week. That was all from Free State. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Peter. We did, the sound disappeared at times, but thank you for hanging in there and be able to share with us all the wonderful things happening there in the Free State. Our last presentation is then from Mpumalanga, and we call on Nomfundo, if she's here, to just share with us the report.
Chairperson, Nomfundo was having challenges with connectivity.
Okay. Yeah. There's no substitute for her. We'll then ask Donald just to do then the last report as well for us. Thank you, Donald.
Thank you. The report of the Mpumalanga province, the provincial membership strive to stay connected during this difficult year as a result of COVID-19. The province limited its meetings to virtual platforms with few face-to-face meetings, including BGM. BGM was also face-to-face. The use of virtual platform was mainly concentrated on WhatsApp because of connectivity difficulties. There was an increase in the membership that joined the Mpumalanga NACCW WhatsApp group and the Telegram in 2021. These platforms were used to disseminate information on COVID-19 and to encourage members to abide to the precautions of COVID-19. The Provincial Executive Committee received a report from the ECBD project regarding the delay in payment of stipends. The committee approached the Provincial Department of Social Development to request that the payment be made. Due to the lockdown, there were many child protections cases that were happening in communities. The PEC held a meeting with Mpumalanga Childline, requesting them to hold defense classes with children aged between 15 to 18 years of age in the ECBD projects. The introduction of Mina for Men for Health campaign was held. The campaign promotes men's health and well-being generally and on HIV and treatment specifically. The men were encouraged to attend clinics and to do health checkups. This also extended to the youth in the youth forum. The training conducted in the province include COVID-19, which was accessed through the South African Council for Social Services Professions and the NQF Level 5. The centers were encouraged to ensure that their own staff receive mental support, and in addition, a WhatsApp group was created to provide information on how to deal with mental difficulties. The provincial NACCW structure actively participated in the opening of the Delmas Rehabilitation Center for youth involved in substance abuse. The province is concerned of the increasing number of young people who have become drug addicts. Under the Youth Forum, the province reports that the Youth Forum continued holding virtual meetings in the province and participating in national activities. While the activities were also limited to virtual and a few with limited number of participants in the Youth Forum, it is pleased to report that the structure continued to operate well. The Youth Forum joined the national directive to hold gender-based violence campaigns in the safe parks. This pandemic has also become a concern in Mpumalanga as more cases of assault and abuse were reported. There are various national holidays that were celebrated by the Youth Forum virtually and in small groups in the different communities. They include the Human Rights Day, Heritage Day, and the Youth Day. The youth also joined in the Child Protection Week and Child and Youth Care Workers Week, which was celebrated virtually. The youth also joined in the national campaign to encourage youth to establish their own small businesses. The youth were supported in their study groups and application for tertiary studies, including bursaries, in 2021. That is the report from Mpumalanga. Thank you.
That brings us then to, we've dealt with all the reports of the 9 provinces, and We want to say thank you very much for the chairpersons and the PEC for, and the members of the PEC for all the hard work. And it is evident that we are busy there in our various provinces. It's the needs that we address, regional based, like the last province mentioned the issue of their concern with substance abuse and how we empower also our child and youth care workers to come and do some interventions. So it is quite exciting to hear all the good news and the stories that you have shared, and especially what is giving us more hope and showing your resilience is your work there with your youth forums, because it's also the focus of our early intervention to develop this leadership and to let young people also have a voice and to express and participate in addressing challenges that face them. So thank you very much, chairpersons, for sharing with us on this platform and in celebrating our International Child and Youth Care Week, valuing a resilient profession. We just want to say a warm welcome also to our director, Merle Elsop. She was not well the past few days, and I'm glad that she's here to also join us and also take notice of the good work that's happening all over the country. Welcome, Merle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do appreciate that welcome. It's very lovely to hear all of the work that's being done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move to, we've got our Deputy Chairperson, Fiona, from KZN, that will also share a message of support, and after her will be our Treasurer, Francisco, and then I will do the closing remarks, and then I think Donald will perhaps give us also some announcements before we then close today. Fiona, let's hand over to you.
Good day, everybody. Warm greetings again from KZN. I want to first refer back to our underlying theme of this week, which is valuing a resilient profession, and just spend a few seconds dissecting it. So valuing, as we know, implies that we value something. If we value it, we're going to go that extra, so we look after it. Resilient is telling us that in the context of childcare, it implies that we display as a sector the ability over all these years to bounce back and recover quickly from our difficulties, whatever challenges, whatever crisis that faces us. And that's been very evident in the past 2 years with our childcare workers across the country responding to the COVID crisis. The word profession implies that we all are fully aware that we are belonging to a greater social service profession that advocates for services to vulnerable groups in the country, and that we specifically as child and youth care workers play a key significant role to, as a professional in the children's life space. So today, points, and those 2 points are key aspects that one cannot do without in any profession. So the first point I'm bringing up is the one of legislation. And just a reminder, an important point related to this is that when we professionalized ourselves, we agreed and understood that it comes with terms, responsibilities, and conditions. And part of the responsibility goes with understanding the legislation that we work within. So I'm going to share with you some of the legislation that is very important. And we see it on the ground that the more you know about your legislation as a child and youth care worker on the ground, the better you are to advocate for the work you do. So I'm referring to a few of the legislative documents that are key to the work we do in the children's sector. And that refers to the Children's Act and the regulations. And in recent years, in 2021, there were public hearings again, and we're expecting further public hearings in 2022 related to the Children's Amendment Bill. And the reason I'm sharing all this with you is because you need to have your head close to the ground, looking for the opportunities and the invitations to participate in these activities. Many people on the floor have asked again, in terms of regulations, why do I need to register with the council? And it's clear that you have to belong to a council if you're in a profession. So you will find that in your act and in your regulations if you are aware of it. The Children's Act monitoring tool, it's a new development, not totally new, and it has been developed and ready for implementation in provinces. And that's a supporting tool that's going to be used to assess our compliance with implementing of the Children's Act. So you will find that there are pilot programs coming soon into the provinces around this monitoring tool. The National Child Care and Protection Policy, something that has been developed in 2019 and approved of, but hasn't fully been implemented. Again, there's a lot of talk around that particular policy and how to bring it into the work that we are doing, which the National DSD will be focusing on. Financing policies, which is always a huge issue to the service delivery that we offer. In that regard, we talk about the financing policy in recent years, which was the Nawongo implementation. And in KZN particularly, we know that that implementation was pushed and advocated for by the Ambassadors Forum. And through the advocacy and a huge long struggle for more than a year, we were able to secure funding. And that funding obviously has used impact on the work that we do in the sector. So we will talk on that a little while again. And one last one is the function in the NPO sector and are regulated by the NPO bill. So important to know that it was circulated on the 4th of October last year for comments, and we're continuing to debate that with National DSD in terms of it impacts on all of us as NGOs working in the private sector. I'm sharing all of this with you because it's important to be aware and alert of all the policies that impact on your work wherever you are in the country offering services to children. The second point is important for me, and I'm bringing this up at a national level because it's so vital to what we do, and it's networking. We have an NACCW forum that exists in every single province. Majority of us in all provinces have a child and youth care work practitioners forum operating, and we have very active youth forums operating. But I want to put a challenge to all the other provinces to say, let's work harder at getting the other forums operating. And we are encouraging and challenging child and youth care workers to join the forums, participate and help your PECs in all your provinces by showing interest, by taking leadership roles, and by championing for the other forums to start operating. In KZN, we have operational forums for social workers, for child and youth care supervisors, for our principals, and we have a sub-region that operates as well, doing different work. And we're advocating that you promote that. I'm going to use the example of the Nawongo case for a few seconds, just to share with you that when we had to fight the battle to demand for funds that were due to us in terms of Nawongo, we could only do it because we had NACCW forum existing, and more so because we had a principals forum filled with directors of CYCCs who were ready to take up a challenge. And again, as I'm saying, I'm putting a challenge to everyone. If you want to take something up provincially in your whichever part you belong to, you need to strengthen your provincial voice. And you can do that by strengthening all the forums that exist under NACCW. I also want to raise that there are other networks that are important for you to join. And you should be aware of your child care and protection forums that exist, both provincially, at cluster level, at regional level, at district level, local level. Be aware of where those forums are, what is happening with the child and youth child care and protection forums, and make sure you're participating in them. Similar with your NPO forums and your welfare forums. These are all the different platforms you should be using to make sure that your voice is heard, to advocate for the work you are doing in your provinces. So as the National Executive Committee, we want to humbly appeal to all our child and youth care workers in the sector to make good use of all your opportunities that provide you with the space to voice and advocate for the work you're doing. Make sure you take time to equip yourself with the necessary and relevant knowledge of legislation, because that is what will strengthen your voice and your work, both individually and professionally. So I take this opportunity to wish you well and all the best on your youth journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our Deputy Chair, Fiona, for also sharing this message to the child and youth care field, and especially the issues regarding policy and legislation that we must also get ourselves updated with in terms of rendering our services. Thank you once again, Fiona, for sharing with us on that level. I invite members, if you have questions regarding any of these inputs, you can also put it in the chat box, because I think maybe sometimes there are people that would like to ask things for clarification or comments on some of these challenging issues. Let us then move on and call on our Treasurer, Francisco, to also speak to the child and youth care workers on this platform. Francisco, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to share a thought, or maybe two, with my fellow colleagues as we celebrate the child and youth care workers across the world, but especially those who are near to us. The question I thought about, in relation to this was, what is a children's home, or as it is known today, a child and youth care center without child and youth care workers? So in order to understand this, we need to maybe understand what it is that will be different with or without this person in the children's home. When children arrive or are referred to a place in the children's home or child and youth care center, the thinking is that all else have failed in the attempt to provide for the child in their own home or in the community where they live. Now, whether or not this is always the case, the child now finds him or herself in an alternative place where there's supposed to be an adult person providing for the child's basic needs, like their parents would have if the parents were capable of doing so. Now, there could be many staff, including professionals, working in a children's home, but if there isn't a child and youth care worker, then the child will receive what they need. I repeat, they will receive what they need, but not necessarily with the special touch, the effort, the sensitivity, the patience, the nurturing, the catching, the love that child and youth care workers provide. In my own experience, when I started out as a child and youth care worker 34 years ago, I was often told by those who worked there before me that you will only last in this job, like they called it, for 2 years. And of course, I pondered on this many times, and the only thing that I could come up with was that if you were not passionate about what you're doing, if you don't put the child first, if you don't spend the time and the energy to find out what this child really needs, then you won't last very long. Child and youth care workers generally have a habit of responding. And I want to give you a minute or so to think about this. I have a habit of responding. And there are obviously many things that we respond to. Just this morning on my way to work, I get this call and I say to the person, I'm busy driving, but I'll put it on loudspeaker. Let me hear what you want to ask or say. And he says, Mr. Francisco, I am aware of a child who was assaulted by 2 child care workers in a state facility and is now sitting with a broken arm. what do I do? And of course, you know, it's difficult when you sit in the traffic. Normally takes me about 2 hours because I go via Brackenfell to come to work. And I said to him, please call me back. But I think this is the kind of thing I want to point out, that we as child and youth care workers, we need to go the extra mile to find out what it is that we do in cases like these. And often, you know, there's a tendency to not report because I don't want to make it my business. That is one of the things that we need to overcome as child and youth care workers in order for us to be professional. My inspiration to my colleagues in the field today is every child that is with you, every child that is in your care, every child in the children's home needs you to be you. Be genuine. Don't be fake. You have the chance to influence a child's life. Think about the special gift you have that can influence a child's life forever and make it work for them. And yes, when you want to give up, remember why you started doing this in the first place. And I want to wish you well throughout this week and throughout the journey this year until we celebrate again next year. Be the best you can be for children out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francisco, for those encouraging words to the child and youth care workers as we celebrate child and youth care as a valuing, resilient profession this week. Before we then close, for the closing remarks, I just want to allow, if there's someone that would like to make a comment or just pose a general question from those present, you may just raise your hand that we could see. Okay, I don't see any hands. Then allow me to...
Mr. Chair?
Sorry, is there a hand?
Yes.
Yes. Can we? You may. Let me just see here. Who would like to speak? On my screen, I don't see the name of whose hand is up.
It's Lebohang, chairperson.
Yes. You may make your question or comment.
For me, it's a comment, chairperson, to my fellow child and youth care workers, especially the ones in KZN. Like, I'd like to say to them, you know, the effort that, you know, through the crisis that they've come across, the floods, COVID-19, you know, there's also like gang violences, you know, that they've gone through. Like, I would like to say to them, I take my hat off for them, for the effort that they've given for their children and the families out there, the help that they've given for those people. You know, it shows like what we actually as child and youth care workers, you know, what are we and what is this job that we say that it is a job, because it's regarded, other people, they see it as a job, but to us it's a drive, it's a passion. So I just take my hat off for them, and also like across the country, you know, to say to my fellow child and youth care workers, let us not just give in and to say that, okay, yes, we know that we're facing more challenges, but the families and children out there, they need us more, especially the young ones that are growing. They need us. They're looking up at us. So yeah, let us not hold back. Let's just do the best that we can do, you know, whether it's raining, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, we there. Let's show the what we are, our profession. So yeah, that's my comment, just to say that let's do it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Lebohang. for also sharing from your side words of appreciation and gratitude to child and youth care workers. Then let me then make the last closing, because after the president has spoken, no one else can say or ask questions. Are we clear? Thank you. Child and youth care workers, during this International Child and Youth Care Week, we want to pay tribute and recognize child and youth care as a resilient profession. All the speakers that spoke and the child and youth care workers, especially those from KZN, has demonstrated to us that we are indeed a resilient profession, because we are also inspired by the resiliency that we experience from our engagements with the children and the young people. Children and young people are by nature resilient. They have the ability to bounce back amidst many adversaries, but some of them do give up due to many adverse factors in their environment. And therefore, we as child and youth care workers, we are there, and on behalf of the children and the young people and the families and the parents, we say thank you to all child and youth care workers who have demonstrated hope, who have demonstrated care and resilience by just being there for children, being with and participating in their life space and helping them to make sometimes very heavy decisions, but also in terms of just supporting them emotionally. And as Tom Garford says, we're hanging in or we're hanging out with children. We're doing sometimes counseling on the go, or what we call therapy on the roof, demonstrating care and understanding. But our resiliency is based, therefore, in helping young people not to give up, to show them they have strengths, to tell them they can do it, but also to show them we can do it as we do things with them, working in the moment and demonstrating to them there's another way of doing things. And therefore, we salute you and say thank you, child and youth care workers, for your patience, your perseverance, your commitment to serve the children and families of our beloved country. You are indeed resilient in this profession. Your well-being and professional development, your training, your best interest are priority to our association. And therefore, we always there to support you and to say to you, as this professional association is nearing in its 47th year, nearly going to be half a century soon, that it's going from strength to strength because of us taking hands and demonstrating to others that we are there to serve. The Deputy Director General, Mrs. Sekawana, from DSD, she mentioned the other day an important word, and she said sometimes the appreciation for child and youth care workers is because of our selfless servanthood, because you go there and be there and do things. But as the National Association of Child and Youth Care Workers, we also want to say to you that we are there to support, and the NACCW is therefore participating in the networks and stakeholders like the South African Council of Social Service Professions. There's the Professional Board for Child and Youth Care, the national and provincial departments of social development and education, the health and welfare CETA, and the institutions of higher learning. There's UNICEF, just to name a few. We are actively in these meetings, talking and debating and sharing and advocating to advance the development of child and youth care as a profession. And I hope after this wonderful week of listening and understanding our role that we will also go and in our various provinces, our communities, help people understand what is the work and the value of child and youth care workers. They mustn't ask, what is a child and youth care worker? They must see it by your being present, by the work you do, so that as you grow and develop and share with others, so we help others also to grow and develop. And with those words, we say thank you very much to everybody that participated and they've contributed, that we have this week, actually the past 3 days, to engage and share with each other on this platform. Thank you once again. I would now then call on Donald just to share with us any of the announcements, because I know tomorrow we're going to also meet. I understand there's going to be in the morning a session with the professional board and in the afternoon with council. Maybe Donald can just give us those details. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Zen is going to make the announcements. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to announce that a feedback summit on the crisis in the child and youth care sector in South Africa and its impact on the welfare of children and youth will be hosted by the Professional Board for Child and Youth Care Work tomorrow, the 6th of May, from 10 o'clock to 12:30, and this will be on Teams. People would be able to live stream in as well. The program will include the registrar of council, the deputy president of council, and there will be input from Department of Social Development on the business case, inputs from universities, which would include the University of Johannesburg, UNISA, DUT, input from HWCETA, input from DBE, as well as National DSD. So it is an interesting feedback session, and I encourage all of you to attend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zeni. And in the afternoon, is there from the South African Council something on the elections?
Yes, I think that the council is holding a session where they are going to help unpack the election process and provide clarity around any questions people have about the electronic voting and just generally the voting process. I'm just trying to find that email. Donald, you might remind me. I think it's at 2 o'clock in the
yes,
in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, yes.
Yeah, thank you. If there are no other announcements, we have come to the end of our session today. I did say thank you to all of those that participated, and we would like to see you then tomorrow at 10 when we connect with the South African Council of Social Service Professions and especially the Professional Board for Child and Youth Care to give us an update addressing the crisis in the child and youth care field and the recommendations that came from the Professional Board, and the summit is there for us as child and youth care workers as we will close then this week of International Child and Youth Care Workers Week. Thank you very much, everybody, and with those words, I then declare the session closed. Thank you and goodbye.